Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mabimpressions, and today I want to talk about Loot River. This game comes out May 3rd, 2022, and I think the devs and publishers Straka Studio and Superhot presents for the review copy. This game is releasing not in early access, it's a full version 1.0 game. This is an action roguelike isometric dark fantasy with Souls-like combat. I know, Souls-like, R1 is a light heavy, light attack, R2 is heavy, you have rolling, dodging, leveling up, etc. That kind of Souls-ish combat, but it plays very differently. So I want to go over exactly what the game is, a little bit of the story, how it plays, the nuances, and after all that, if I recommend it. So let's get started. So this game is single player, you got Steam achievements, full control support, and even on the main page they say highly recommended to play with the controller, and I do agree. Do that. You don't have to, but I think it's much better. And there's also Steam Cloud. It's gonna be like $30, I think, like $20 to $30. So the story in this game, it's very like fragmented. You are just this wanderer who keeps dying and coming back and dying and coming back. First you're going through a sunken city, and then you're going through the first city. Every time you die you get resurrected by this character, and apparently she has good intentions for herself but not for you. After you've died the first time in the first tutorial, you go through it via Dark Souls style, while they don't teach you much. You have to run around until you find like signs on the ground that teach you the basics. So as I mentioned, you have light attack, you have heavy attack, you have a roll, you have a parry, and the big thing, the big feature, the big mechanic in this game is you are moving around on a river. So every time you jump on a platform, whether it be like a 1x square, a 2x1 square, a gigantic 3x5, and then it goes up like a Tetris block, you can move it using the right stick. So move on your left stick or move on your right stick to move the whole platform. And you're using this to get through the whole dungeons, and you have to really make this second nature because there's a lot of things you can do with it. First of all, you need it to traverse and solve puzzles via, like sliding and moving puzzles. And I do have to say, I do like that. I'm a fan of these type of puzzles, but if you don't like that, if you are not in, and I say puzzles, it's just like slight. It's not like you have to sit there and solve something. Every once in a while, it's like, I gotta move this piece here, this piece here, this piece here. So don't worry, it's primarily combat gameplay, but it's a big feature that also helps with combat. For example, you can, if there's a bunch of enemies, you can wait till one walks on the platform, then you can move the platform away, take care of him, and then keep doing the same. Maybe if you want, you can charge up your spell, charge up your attack, and then move it forward while still holding a charge, and then swipe at them. So you can do lots of cool things like that. You can even run right past them if you want. So that's the big thing there. Other than that, there's lots of different weapons. You have spears, you have swords, claymores, two-handed weapons. You can charge them up. You find lots of different rings on the ground. Some can give you special abilities, like, oh, if you parry, then you recover health. Some give you just plain stats and just a lot of other abilities. You have armor pieces too. So not only can you have two weapons on you that you can switch at any time, but you have armor pieces. You have a hat piece, which can give you new abilities. Same thing with your chest piece and armor. So when you first start the game and you die, you go straight to your sanctuary, which is your hub point for a lot of different sorts of NPCs you're going to be unlocking as you play the game. You're going to be finding them throughout the run. The further and further you go, you're going to be finding them, and then they're going to be showing back up in town, and you're going to be using meta progression. You're going to be finding a currency called knowledge in the game. Besides knowledge, you have gold, which is used within the dungeon itself to maybe buy some things, but this sort of currency knowledge is what you need to unlock things permanently. You have a blacksmith, so you can get new weapons. Each weapon can then be found within the dungeons. There's a hat NPC for different sorts of hats, which once again locks stuff during the dungeon. Same thing with the armor and different types of spells. Now, this game, besides meta progression and stuff like that, you also level up within the dungeon. So you start from 1, and unless you have any sort of starting modifiers, your stats are going to be 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 strength, 10 endurance, 10 dexterity, 10 intelligence, etc. And all of those stats do various different things. A lot of the weapons via like Dark Souls have scaling. So if you find like a really heavy sword, it's most likely going to have like a 0.9 for strength scaling and maybe a super low 0.2 for dexterity, and vice versa. If you find a spear, maybe 0 strength scaling and 0.7 dexterity. So you're going to be making a sort of build as you play the game depending on what you find, and sometimes you can even start runs with different ones with different modifiers. So you find a spear and maybe you level up, okay, I'll be putting stuff in dexterity. You also have vitality, which is just health. You have endurance, which increases poise damage and critical damage. You can get crits by attacking with certain buffs and parrying. If you parry an enemy, you have to really time it, and then you get a critical strike on them via Dark Souls. Again, I know, oh, Dark Souls. It's just really easy to compare it to, so that's why I use it. So you get critical damage there, and you get increased poise. Now in this game, poise works like this. If you have poise and it's higher than the enemy, you stagger them with an attack. So maybe a gigantic suited enemy is a big nuisance, but after increasing your endurance by maybe 2 points, he staggers every single time you hit him to make the fight way more easier. And then you have intelligence, which increases your maximum mana pool and also increases the types of buffs for your spell. For example, if a lightning bolt is increased damage by intelligence, it also increases the amount of lightning bolts per thing, and etc. So that's pretty much how the game works. Lots of different types of enemies. This is a game where it's pretty funny. You're collecting knowledge, but it's really important that you also learn up here, like knowledge. You need to know what every enemy can do, the different types of attack they do. They have this thing where it's enabled automatically, where enemies telegraph when they're about to hit via an exclamation mark above their head. So you're like, okay, get ready to parry. Get ready to parry. But some enemies, they're smart. You know, they have different moves, and some of them like fake attack. They go, "Huh! Just kidding," and then once you're done parrying, they swipe you. So you have to know which enemies do that and whatnot. So this game is highly skill-based, very skill-based. But like I said, there is the meta progression, but it's not as easy as, let's say, go as far as you can, die, and use the currency. You are going to lose all that currency unless you get to a certain checkpoints. In between each of the biomes you're going through, that's when you get to go back to Sanctuary, and that's when you spend a little bit of your gold, but primarily your knowledge. Otherwise, you lose it all. So it's very punishing that way, and it makes it more tense, in my opinion. Like, I got to get to the next biome. I must survive. Oh my god, how long has it been? I need to get to the next biome. So, you know, it really messes with your play style. You gotta play more safe. Maybe you run past an enemy. There's also another thing, you can use potions in the game, and they have this sort of push your luck system where before you jump into the dungeon and before each biome, you go to Sanctuary, and there's an NPC who's like an alchemist, and he's like, give me your potions, and if you do, the next time you come through, if you survive to the next biome, I'll double your potions. So give him 2 potions, you get 4, you get 8. So it's, like I said, a nice push your luck aspect. This game's cool. I really like it a lot. I do have some gripes about it, though. I will have to say I'm not a huge fan of the graphics here. It's not like low poly, definitely not that, but it's like very pixelated, and I don't have a problem with that, but it's very small to see things, very dark. I'm not like hating on the aesthetic. I just don't like how it looks, especially with this type of game that is very skill-based. I feel like it would have done better with larger, like, sprites or something like that. A lot of the times, enemies do whiff around you. You're whiffing as well. Your reach is garbage for the most part. When you dodge roll, you actually do teleport instead of doing a roll with iframes. It was very disorienting at first. And I think it's because there's a lot of clamped claustrophobic spaces where they actually need you to get around enemies. So you want to teleport instead of iframing around, which is really weird. So yeah, a little bit of the parry interactions were too. I'm standing next to an enemy. I definitely time the parry, wait for their prompt, and then they whiff, and I just stand there, go, and then I just attack again. There's a lot of like weird stuff like that, back and forth. There's stuff like hidden walls in here, so there's a lot of secret slur and treasure chests to open. I do have another complaint, the screen shaking thing. By the footage you're probably seeing, every time I attack an enemy, it like nudges the screen. It nudges it. It's so annoying. And at first I thought it was screen shake, so I went on the options. I turned off screen shake, but no, it still does it. I don't know if it's a bug or anything like that. You can press the R3 button to lock onto an enemy. I thought that might fix it because it keeps your character locked on. Honestly, you don't even need a lock on. I never use it, but it did not fix the screen shake. Whenever you attack an enemy, it is so annoying. I really wish they got rid of it. The music is nice and gritty. Very cool. I did like that. And overall, yeah, I think it's a pretty good game. It's hard as hell, but it's tense. And there's a lot of different modifiers you use. As you play the game, you can find a lot of meta modifiers from enemy drops. And when you die, you can restart the map, restart the game, but put on these modifiers. For example, maybe it makes the first biome easier. Maybe certain enemies don't use their long spears anymore, but they're stronger. And maybe you find higher level weapons during a dungeon, but you get hurt more. So a lot of different modifiers, lots of ways to play it. I think this is a really good game. It's not terrible. It's good. They really changed it up with the platforming moving system. But my god, it just feels a little clunky. Not because of the camera angle, not because of the graphics, but just because the way that combat like interacts with each other. It's a lot of whiffing. It's a lot of whiffing, and the dodge roll is just a little weird. But sliding around, moving the puzzles, it's very unique, and I do like that. I highly recommend you incorporate that into your gameplay there. I'm at the Steam page right now, and I don't know if there's a demo. If there is a demo, I would definitely say try it out, because it's a good game, or watch a lot more gameplay. Anyways, guys, I'm going to be leaving it end here. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like. It helps a lot. If you're having Subarino for daily videos, I'll be leaving you with just a couple of minutes of gameplay so you can get more of a first look. If you want to see I'm doing a Let's Play on the MabiVsGamesVOD channel, would love to see you there. And please come my Twitch, also linked down below. Loot River. It's good. I'm glad we're finally playing more games out of early access so I can actually give a really good review and just say, it's early access, it'll be fixed. This is good. Minor gripes, like I said, but if you can get past the shakiness and a little wonkiness, you'll have fun. And some of the bosses look really cool. Don't want to spoil it, but man, they're really fun. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Very cool. Fight them all, dude. Yeah. Oh my god. This is amazing. Oh, you're locking me in? Huh? I'm not trapped with you. You're trapped with me. 2 vitality, 2 strength. Let's just get the damage. Sorry, parry thing. Oh yeah, look at that. Skadoosh, skadoosh, skadoosh. I love it. It's a knowledge game too. You have to know how much poison you need for certain enemies, huh? So this guy not enough. Still. Damn. Got 17 knowledge. Interesting. Sometimes they whiff. And I'm telling you now, I'm not dodging, but they just whiff. What is that? Oh shit. Is that boss? The mini boss. I gotta just go for it. Many in one. Oh, it's him again. Heal. I tried to freaking heal! Oh.